Nicole Smith.
And Julian
From Blood and Iron Martial Arts.
And we're here today to give you a rundown on the Halberd in 3 minutes.
So, Halberd, huh?
Yeah, there were a ton of requests for this specifically in our similar techniques video, so I figured I'd come on by and give it my best. So my interpretation of the Halberd come from Meyer's Art of Combat, the 1570 edition.
You may have heard us mention it before. It's a favorite.
And for good reason. So in the actual polearm section, Meyer talks about pairing polearms almost exclusively with other polearms.
Now, we did have 2 Halberds. Julian broke it.
Sorry. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to use this against another staff. It's identical. Additionally, it's worth mentioning that, again, with a couple exceptions, in the Halberd section, he almost ends all techniques with a thrust. So that's what we're going to be focusing on mainly today, is this pointy little guy.
So what about the axe and the hook?
Well, it wouldn't be a Halberd without them, so I will include a technique for each. First, let's start at the far measure. This is where our points are barely touching, and I want to be able to send off her weapon with the strength of my whole body, and then immediately follow it up with a thrust.
You can perform the same technique from the other side, but the thrust is a little different.
This might seem like an awkward position at first, but you get used to it. The important thing is I have something between me and my opponent, so she can't bring her point right back online. The Halberd can be deceptively nimble. If my opponent is crowding my weapon, I can simply just disengage. From a medium measure, it is much harder for my opponent to disengage. This does give me the opportunity to be more aggressive when I control. I turn my palm up to create a strong wedge, and then I deliver my thrust. The other side's a little different. It is very difficult to thrust from this position, so I simply follow it up with a strike with the axe head. If things wind up super close because they displace my thrust aggressively, I will simply close the distance and strike with the butt of my weapon, which I conveniently left a little bit of space for.
So what happens if I just use my sword to jam your weapon? Now what?
This is one of the most commonly brought up methods on how to defeat a polearm, but the Halberd still has a couple tricks left up its sleeve. I can use the hook to tear out your calf. If they simply just grab my weapon, there's not much else I can really do from here. So, I'm just going to stab them with the dagger that I'm obviously carrying with me. It'd be silly not to have a backup.